Hey guys, in today's episode, let's talk about how to think in English. A very interesting topic I just found out to do a video. So let me ask you this first question for today's video. When you listen to some kind of English video, when you listen to English, do you often have a habit of translating everything in the video to Vietnamese inside your head? Do you have that habit? Well, if you have that habit, then I would recommend you to get rid of that habit and watch this video, because normally for me, I would never have the habit of translating everything to Vietnamese. For example, what I'm saying right now, are you translating to Vietnamese while you watch my video? Well, of course, some people, they have that habit and they can't get rid of it. But it's a very bad habit when you're just translating everything to Vietnamese. It's quite inconvenient too, because when you listen to some listening tests and you have to translate them in order to understand them, so you have some difficulty while doing some listening tests. So I would recommend you not to think in Vietnamese. Instead, think in English if you are listening to English or studying English at the moment. So I would recommend you to get rid of the habit to think in Vietnamese. Translate everything to Vietnamese. When somebody said a water bottle, do you translate a water bottle to Vietnamese? Well, I would never do that. When somebody said a water bottle, I would just think a water bottle inside my head. I would never think of the Vietnamese word. And you too, I know, like some of my friends, when they heard the word water bottle, they would often mumble the Vietnamese word for water bottle inside their mouth. So they are thinking in Vietnamese, which is a very bad habit, right? So let's follow my steps. I have 5 steps to keep thinking in English. Alright, the first step is name objects around you in English in your head. So for example, see a mouse, a computer mouse, a hair clip, a water bottle, a book maybe, or a piece of paper. Yeah, so that is name objects around you in English inside your head, instead of just saying, like for example, a water bottle, and you say that in Vietnamese. And if you want to like move your English to a next level, then start naming objects around you all in English. That way it will help you to think in English more. So inside your head, maybe you think inside your head a water bottle. Stop thinking in Vietnamese. Stop thinking like the meaning of a water bottle in Vietnamese. Instead, think only in English. Use only English and think it. Yeah, so that's it. Like some kind of pencil case, some pen, or scissor. So that's it. Name some objects around you in English and inside your head. So you think inside your head, like for example, here is a fan, or on top of my head here is the air conditioner or AC. So you think everything in English, because when you translate them, it's very hard for you when you speak English. For me, I'm talking at like a very normal speed right now, and if I keep translating everything in English, then how can I communicate with you? Every time I say how to think in English, and you have to think in the Vietnamese inside your head, and then you will say. So it's like very slow and make you like a not very good English user, right? To name objects around you in English. Number 2, next step is think some simple sentences. Wow, and this room is very cold. Or sitting in this chair is very comfortable. I'm having black hair. Or I'm wearing black glasses. So like that, you think something in some simple sentences. Or I'm using my mouse right now. I often drink water from this water bottle. Or I am using my pen to write in this piece of paper. So yes, think in simple sentences. I'm wearing a black shirt today and my hair turns to black. I'm wearing an outfit full of black. Or my computer is black. I'm sitting on my desk. So that's it. Think in simple sentences inside your head. And when you can think in simple sentences, it moves to the 3rd step, which is have small conversation with yourself in English. Now that seems a little bit weird if you have small conversation with yourself, right? People would say that you are a weirdo, but actually, it's not. I try this every single day. So when I walk alone or I do homework alone in English, I would often mumble English words like, today exercise is so hard, I want to do this, I want to go out to play, like that. So you mumble some English conversation, you talk to yourself in English. You can talk about literally everything you want. It doesn't really matter if you have perfect vocabulary or perfect grammar. What matters is that you can think inside your head and speak it out. So for example, for me, I tried this when I walked out to school. For example, if I go to school and I go alone, I would often just think to myself and having small conversation, talk whatever I want about my family, about everything, about some topics. So yes, have small conversation with yourself in English. Nobody will think you're a weirdo, trust me. Now for number 4, this will be very fitted if someone has a phone or a computer. Number 4 is change everything in English. So for example, if you have a phone, then you can change your setting into English. So for a phone, you will go to the setting and change everything in English. Your Facebook account or some of your apps, everything in English, because you can change the language in your phone, right? So change it in English. So this 4th step is really suitable if you have a computer or phone. Like a computer, I don't have a phone, but I have a computer. So I would change the language into English. So every time I have a message popping up, I will see the sentence, you have a new message, instead of the Vietnamese line, right? So it's really useful if you change your setting into English. So yes, that's number 4. And step number 5 is keep track. You'll have to do this every day, so I would suggest that you have a small notebook and say day 1, what have you do, what you think in English. So day 1, I think food in English, I talk to myself, I name what objects. So you will write in a special notebook and you will keep track every single day, because if you only do it for one day, it's not gonna work. You have to do it every single day, and slowly, step by step, it'll work, trust me. So you will do 50 steps and amazingly, it'll work. Bye bye.